So Terry, I remember specifically you came to Cabinet one day and you said, I have been thinking about the way that we're approaching the pandemic and thinking about the future. And tell us a bit about that day and kind of how did you come to that moment? Because a lot has happened since then, and I think it changed the trajectory of our organization and impacted the focus that we had in ensuring that we future-proof our company beyond dealing with the pandemic of that moment.
Yeah, it's a great story. I was at my desk in May of the pandemic. So the pandemic had only been going on 3 months. My executive coach called and he goes, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I said, "What do you think I'm doing? I'm working on the pandemic."
Like everybody else.
Like everybody else.
Is
It's like,
working
what
on
a
the
question.
pandemic. Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, I was afraid you were going to say that." He goes, "What is AdventHealth doing to prepare for the future?" And I thought for a minute and I said, "Come on, man, I'm in the middle of the pandemic." He goes, "No, seriously, you need to let other people run the pandemic. You and a few members of your key executive team need to go away for 2 weeks and do two things. One, what has this taught you about your company? And two, what do you need to change in your company right now so that when you come out of the pandemic, you're ready for what the marketplace gives you?" It was a pivotal moment. One, I'm so glad I have a coach. Two, I'm so glad he cared about our organization. And three, AdventHealth has been implementing for the past 18 months all the initiatives that we came up with that we needed to pivot to, and it was a great time for us. You know, Alicia, if you remember that cabinet meeting, there were multiple people at that meeting who said, "Are you kidding me? How do we even
Yes.
know what's going to come out of the pandemic?"
We can't figure out what we're going to do tomorrow and how do we solve for that problem, let alone something that we're going to need 5 years from now.
Right. And our answer finally was, that is true. We don't know how the pandemic's going to play out, but what we do know is this. The country is graying. There's going to be more Medicaid and more Medicare payers. There's going to be a push into risk. Are we prepared for the acceleration of those things if it happens just like the pandemic accelerated what we're doing with nursing team models? And if we're not prepared, how would we go get prepared? What businesses do we need to start? How do we need to fund them? And how do we need to face the market in a way that is probably going to happen even though we're in the middle of a pandemic?
Tara, I think what helped with that is you giving the team permission to try new things, learn from it, fail fast, and move on. And I think we have a number of businesses as well as strategies as a result of that. And not everything is perfect, but I think we've tried a number of different things that we have put in place and then refined over time to get to where we need to be as a company.
Well, and I think a number of us were thinking we don't ever want to be in that position again, where we have not thought through something, a threat that could actually land on our doorstep. So, we took that approach of, while the world is spinning a little and where it's difficult to try to anticipate the other potential threats, we need to do this work no matter how challenging it is, because that is the best opportunity for us to be prepared for one of the four things that could happen in 3 years instead of 8 years.